Hey, my lovelies. So I know the Timeless Tuesdays reading is already up, but it's fun as I've been filming. So I just finished the air signs just now, and I've noticed this really strong theme about kind of needing rest and really having to, for some of the signs to slow down, some of the signs to really listen to what they need. The air signs tonight very very positive. So good job you. May just be happening with the timing, like timing of the messages for the previous signs. So I started with water and fire, and then I just did air. I will do earth probably tomorrow after work. So thank you, earth signs, for being patient. But I've felt this very strong pattern about needing to rest and recover and really listen to what we need. And of course, there's a plane that's flying right now. I hope you can hear me over that. But I just feel like I wanted to pull some cards on just that particular energy alone, because it seems to be affecting every sign in a positive way if we can really utilize that energy. But it seems that there's this need to really, or this, not need, but this desire to push ourselves very hard for a multitude of different reasons, and that alone isn't a bad thing. But we also want to be conscious and careful of not pushing too hard, right? You know, if we need to take a break, we need to take a break. So I wanted to do a reading, quick little reading just on that. And maybe I'm hypersensitive to it, and maybe I'm overreacting. That could be a real thing. Oh. Oh, you guys are not going to be able to see. I always forget how big these cards are until I look at the screen in the screen on the camera and really get to see how big they all really are. I love. So, bottom of the deck right now is the Master of Chalices. This would be your King of Cups. Honestly, a very strong energy to show up in this reading, and gives us this theme of kind of feeling all the feelings, whether they're good, bad, happy, sad, positive, fearful, but being able to weather that storm, right? Because this king, he definitely feels everything, but he's not necessarily going to whine about it and talk about it. You know, he can be constant and still. You know, it's kind of like the eye of the storm, and that's kind of what I think everyone is trying to do, and that's kind of the main goal right now, like just to be stable and hold steady and not get blown one way or the other. And sometimes to do that, we numb ourselves versus allowing us to feel everything as an observer and just let it pass by and just to process it. Instead, we just kind of like shut down and put our head down and just hustle until the storm is over, right? I'm just going to hold on as tight as I can until this wind stops blowing. And sometimes that's not always the best answer. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on. Not that people are making bad choices in that respect, but I want to make sure no one's experiencing burnout. No one is like burning the candle at both ends or causing unnecessary stress and unnecessary suffering, so to speak. We'll put it that way. So first card we have out, the Chariot. So this drive, right? This drive for success and achievement. Now, having this card come up, I will say it's a good sign that we're going to find success regardless. We're going to find success regardless. But again, we want to make sure this road is easy and comfortable. You know, and as I even say that, I'm looking at it, this particular deck, what? Every single plane on the planet is flying right now, apparently. Annoying. I'm going to wait till this passes. Hold on.
Okay, it's quieting down. So here we have this Chariot energy, and you can see that there are five, I was going to say horses, five horses. For a second, in the camera they look like zebras because of the harness. Are we focused? Oh, we're focusing. But you can see there's 5 horses pulling this chariot. 5 we already know is a number of, can be a number of strife, conflict. But it is change and growth, and as we're all dealing with the changes going on in the world, everything that's happened is going on. we've all needed to adapt, right? We've all needed to grow and evolve beyond things. It's a little bit of what we're all facing, right? But again, that doesn't mean we can't find success. It requires some different thinking. You know, maybe trying something a little different, trying something new. We have this 5 of chalices as well, which, yes, carries this idea of loss and sadness and mourning. I just want to take a peek at this card. One thing that's cute in this card that not a lot of cards do. So yes, we have our 3 spilt cups and we're kind of crying over spilt milk, even though there's 2 wonderful cups that are still ready to go. But this particular deck shows 2 people in the card mourning. So even in that, you're not alone, right? Because we have those 2 figures there. So there's still blessings, there's still support, there's still comfort there. We also have the Master of Flames. So we have the Master of Chalices, which is the King of Cups, and here we have the King of Wands. To me, now yes, the King of Flames is a master level, right? And he's a strong, so yes, it's a very spiritual sign, but he's also a master of self, right? He's very connected, he's very confident, he's a powerful, powerful manifester, right? And it's because he's really owned it. He's really owned it. I'm gonna try and move, see if I can move some of these crystals out of the way so we can get everyone into the picture. Well, kind of, sort of. He's there. You can kind of see him. You can see him. Thank you. All right. But then I think that's kind of what's being called for. Like, we're already here. We've already, you know, whatever we need to know, whatever skills we need, whatever wisdom we need to have to kind of solve these problems, we already possess, right? Or we are at least already have access to them. But I do think we have more than just that. But there could be some fears, some hesitations, some ideas of being cut off and lonely and not having enough, right? That spur us to behave in a certain way, right? To behave in a way that, you know, is triggered by this, oh, there's nothing out there, there's no support, there's not enough of this, there's not enough of that. I need to be stronger, I need to push further so I don't run out, so I have enough to care for myself, to care for those who are important to me. You know, that's almost like the impetus. This is the driving force. When really, there's enough to go around. There is enough to go around. You know, then we move up. So we have reason here on top of the Chariot. So this is the Hierophant card in this deck. So again, another link to spirit, right? Access to the divine. Whether this is listening to your guides, whether this is kind of meditating, getting messages that way. You know, it could honestly just be connected to faith, right? To faith and understanding. There's also this level of alchemy, right? Taking 2 things, mixing and fusing them together with the right elements to create more. This idea that there will always be more. There's enough for everyone and everything, right? You can even take reason and think of it as, you know, logic and understanding. And being realistic and not letting these emotions run you here with this 5 of chalices. Which again was the theme we talked about with the Master of Chalice here. Yes, we can feel things, but that doesn't mean they have to overpower us. That doesn't mean we have to be a slave to the emotions. We have reason and logic to, okay, I'm feeling this way, but why do I feel this way? Is it grounded, right? Or am I feeling this way just because I've been triggered and therefore I'm acting out of panic or fear, you know, blah da 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 da. Because then here we have reflection, the Hermit card. So going within. Another card about listening to your guides. So some of you may be getting a lot of communication and downloads from your ancestors and your spiritual guides. So if it's a common thing for you to check in and talk with them and ask for their guidance and put them in your prayers, I would tell you right now to continue to do that. Because again, this card is sitting at the center of the reading. So they're showing up very, very strong. Whether this is just a journey within and reflecting on your own feelings versus your own surroundings. What am I doing in my perception of things versus the reality, right? So there's a lot of self-reflection that could be going on there, but also some divine guidance that's helping you along the way. So definitely a big thing to pay attention to help when you're reasoning out all of these kind of 3D earthly things going on, right? Because again, to reconfirm the Chariot and the Flame of Masters, the Master of Flames We have here the 9 of crystals, which would be the 9 of pentacles. So independence and abundance and strength, knowing your worth and your value and what you bring to the table. And what you bring to the table are all of these resources. Look at all those crystals you got in your chest. You are definitely not without. There is no reason for you to be sad and mourning when you have all of this, right? And all of that was earned. You deserve it. You built it up yourself. Whether you saved it wisely, whether you worked really hard to build and amass that income, that wealth, those supplies, whatever it is, the home, that support system, it's all there for you. And you did that, right? Don't forget who you are. Don't forget that just because the world is crazy, or just because you're feeling tired or exhausted, possibly stressed and overwhelmed with, what's on your plate, or trying to juxtapose and balance, the new normal versus your comfort level and what you need and what you want out of life at this particular moment. Because I'm sure it's changed, and now there may be an imbalance that we need to correct. So again, that's another nod to this reflection, and really, what is it you need out of this moment, and how can we find balance? So we have the 6 of Flames, card of victory and success, but it also is a card of recognition. And a lot of times this card pops up in recognition of your own victories and your own success, right? Which is a good thing. To me, I would say this is others recognizing you. Because you remember, physically, what you're surrounded by is all this good juju, right? So what people are seeing is this. What may be going on inside is this kind of, heavier soul-searching journey, right? So we may be feeling this. Outside people are seeing this. And this recognition is almost using that to get you to see it, right? To know that there is success, there is growth, there is abundance out there. And you have another 6, which is the 6 of Orbs, which this would be the 6 of Swords in a traditional deck, which is about better times ahead and moving forward. Some of you, might be an actual move. You might literally be moving to greener pastures, right? Whether this is a new job, a different job, maybe moving homes, that could be a real thing. But that is something to celebrate here with that 3 of Chalices. You will have a reason to toast and a reason to celebrate, and an opportunity to enjoy these comforts that you've earned and share some of these riches, right? Whether it be your immediate family or literally throwing a big celebration, right? In honor of whatever this growth and shift is for you. So lots of positive growth, but again, know that these feelings, they're real. I'm not trying to discount them, but they're a small part of the picture. They're a small part of the picture. Don't let them be bigger than they are. I kind of want to go through the bottom of the deck just to kind of see a different deck coming up. So we know about this bad boy. We talked about him already. Here we have the Tower. So unexpected shifts and changes. 3 of Wands after that. So again, this falling down, making way for new to come in, making way for the opportunities we've been dreaming of and trying to manifest here. With this Seeker of Crystal, this would be the Page of Pentacles. So seeking that new opportunity, that new growth, that new potential. Some of us, this may even have to do with love, with the Ace of Chalices, the Ace of Cups coming up here. And then even under that, 8 of Orbs, which is the 8 of Pentacles. All about honing your craft and doing what you do and sticking to, dedicating yourself and sticking to your guns. That's the phrase I wanted. Beautiful energy. It's just about clearing the way. Clearing the way and doing what you do, right? And doing it because you love it, because it fills you up, because it nourishes you. I needed to give this reading, not only for you, but also for me. But again, these energies that some of us are feeling, 1, you're not the only one feeling them. And 2, they're just feelings. They're just feelings. So sit with them and process them. Reflect on where you are versus where you want to be versus where you've come from. And be really honest and compare the emotional space to the 3D, to the physical reality of really what's going on, right? Because yes, there definitely are challenges facing us right now, but there's also blessings, right? So we have to remember that, there is always light within the dark. And if we can reason our way out of that, we will eventually have more light.
right? So I don't want to. I know some people are truly in tough situations right now. So I don't want to. I don't want to make it like, oh yeah, I just put a nice Band-Aid on it and it's fine. That's not what this reading is about. But it's again, it's just recognizing it's not all darkness, because these feelings can sometimes feel so consuming and so heavy, right? That again, it blocks out the light, but that does not mean it's not there anymore. So if anything, if that's what you're feeling, take the blinders off. See beyond that. Because even if you look at this spread, we have all these positive cards here with this border about success and moving on and celebrating and strength and independence here. And then we have this ring of, darker, heavier, introspective energies, lack, that lack mentality and feeling loss, kind of shrouding that inner seed of success. So you've got that little seed of light being covered up by this dark, or big seed of light. I mean, this is a major, so I shouldn't be calling it a little seed. And it's the only major, actually no, that's a lie. We have some over here. But it's the only positive major, so it's like the brightest light being, kind of overshadowed by this darkness, but there's still all these blessings around it. So yes, there are some very heavy energies that a lot of us are kind of dealing with and processing out, but there's also so many good things to make that process easier, and to remind us that there is good around us and there's something to be grateful for and to celebrate. I love that. So for any of you where this has felt heavy and you've felt kind of pushed, know you're not alone, know it's going to get easier, and know it's really about really checking in. And again, this energy of feeling everything as the observer and taking it, processing it, and then letting it go by, so you can truly recognize what's happening in the 3D and what's happening around you. Alright, my loves, this was just a little side in. I just felt like it had to come out. Someone, including myself, needed to hear it. So I hope you enjoyed. As always, thank you for all the love and support. If you're not already and you enjoyed this reading, hit that subscribe button. Come back every week and you can join us. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can see when all the new uploads come up. But until then, I'm sending you love. Take care. Wishing you the best. Stay safe and sane as we continue to navigate this crazy world we live in. And just continue to do you. Love you guys. Take care. I'll see you next week. Bye.